In 2026, 95% of businesses fail within their first 5 years. But what if the next great business isn't a company at all? What if it's you? You've seen creators like Dan Koe build an audience of over 120,000 subscribers, defining personal branding as a traffic source and a trust mechanism. It's not just about being famous, it's about becoming a category of one. Josh Steinmel, who leveraged his personal brand to generate millions in revenue for his businesses, puts it bluntly. Your brand is your future. We're talking about more than just a LinkedIn profile. As Isaac Mashman stated in June 2025, a personal brand encompasses every single thing about you. It's your character, your expertise, your experiences, what Berkeley Exec Ed calls a purpose-driven approach. So how do you actually build one that doesn't feel like a forced, awkward resume, but instead, like Michelle Newell suggests, uses fiction storytelling techniques to captivate people? I'll show you the exact framework. When Josh Steinmel started out, he admits he didn't even know what a personal brand was, yet his journey has now generated millions in revenue for his businesses. He's not alone in this observation. Dan Koe, who reaches over 120,000 subscribers with his insights, describes a personal brand as a traffic source and a trust mechanism, not just a side hustle. This isn't just about influencers anymore. Even back in 2018, a study published in Frontiers in Psychology highlighted personal branding as a critical professional asset. And today, LinkedIn tells us that posts from individual employees get 8 times more engagement than company pages. That's a huge delta. The idea of building a personal brand has evolved from a niche concept to a fundamental pillar of career strategy. It's no longer just for the outspoken or the famous. It's for anyone looking to build a reputation, create opportunities, or simply share their expertise. What makes this so vital right now is the sheer noise in the digital landscape. Cutting through it demands more than just good work. It demands a clear, authentic story. We're going to dive into what a personal brand truly is, beyond just a catchy social media handle. We'll explore why crafting a compelling narrative, as Michelle Newell suggests by using fiction storytelling techniques, is so much more effective than just listing facts. And we'll uncover the crucial mistake many people make, lacking clarity on what they actually want their brand to achieve, which Stephen Covey famously called pushing a rope. When we talk about personal branding, it's easy to get lost in the noise of endless self-promotion and superficial tactics. But as Dan Koe, author of How to Build a Better Personal Brand Than 99% of People, succinctly states, it's not a business model in itself. Published on May 29, 2025, Koe, who now reaches over 120,000 subscribers across platforms like YouTube and his newsletter, argues it's fundamentally a traffic source and a trust mechanism. Think of it less like a product you sell and more like a reputation flywheel generating authentic connection. Isaac Mashman, writing in his June 19, 2025 column, goes even deeper, defining personal branding as every single thing about you, a concept first introduced by Tom Peters in his groundbreaking 1997 Fast Company article, The Brand Called You. It's not just your meticulously crafted LinkedIn profile picture or a perfectly curated Instagram feed showcasing aspirational moments. Marina Baezanova, co-founder of Brand of a Leader, put it most succinctly on March 6, 2026, when she declared, "Your personal brand is not what you do. It is who you are." This isn't about fabricating a persona. It's about strategically amplifying your authentic self. Berkeley Exec Ed further distinguishes this from business branding, emphasizing that personal branding centers on an individual's unique character, verifiable expertise, and lived experiences. For clients of Prestige Group, the objective isn't fleeting social media fame or vanity metrics, but rather tangible, measurable results. Increased revenues by 15 to 20%, enhanced company financial value, or achieving a specific career objective like securing a board position. The real takeaway here is clarity. Your personal brand is the sum of your genuine value, effectively communicated across all touchpoints. This naturally leads us to the undeniable ROI. Why your brand is a revenue engine. You might think personal branding is just for influencers, But the undeniable ROI tells a different story. Research from LinkedIn shows that employee posts achieve an astounding 8x more engagement than company pages. Even more striking, executive posts on the same platform see an even larger engagement multiplier, underscoring the critical role of leadership visibility. This isn't just about likes, it's about direct business impact. Consider this. 73% of business decision-makers, according to Edelman, actively consider thought leadership when selecting vendors or partners. That directly links your personal brand to actual sales and partnership opportunities. Take Josh Steinmel, for instance. He openly admits he had a rough start in understanding personal branding, yet his focused efforts have successfully generated millions in revenue for his businesses. He's now coaching CEOs who initially struggled with the very same concept. As Prestige Group outlines, a strong personal brand for C-suite executives impacts company revenues by significantly increasing visibility, credibility, and leading to invaluable opportunities like high-profile speaking engagements and media interviews. Many founders initially overlook their personal brand as a revenue engine, but it consistently creates measurable business outcomes. Why? Because people inherently trust faces, voices, and track records more than they do abstract company brands. This trust, this human connection, is what shortens sales cycles and builds a loyal base of advocates. It's about getting useful content to potential clients to gain their attention, control the narrative, and broaden your sales funnel. All of that means one thing: more revenue. Crafting your magnetic brand story, then, becomes the logical next step. When we talk about crafting your magnetic brand story, it's easy to mistakenly think of it as merely a polished professional resume. However, as Michelle Newell astutely highlighted in her June 6, 2022 Medium article, 5 Steps to Building Your Personal Brand Story, the ultimate goal isn't to construct a linear and fact-based narrative. Instead, she passionately advocates for leveraging fiction storytelling techniques to transcend those boring stories that fail to resonate. What Newell is truly getting at is the imperative need to craft a compelling story that authentically captures what makes you you and genuinely captivates people. A stellar example of this principle in dynamic action is the Catfish Santa series, ingeniously conceived for Instagram and LinkedIn. Instead of simply enumerating qualifications or past achievements, this unique, imaginative content campaign, spearheaded by creator Alex Goldfarb, sparked viral engagement globally. It garnered over 500,000 views across platforms, attracted thousands of new followers from diverse industries like tech and marketing, and crucially, set the vibrant stage for a new coaching platform called Fix Your Search. This precisely demonstrates what Berkeley Exec Ed means when they emphasize that a purpose-driven brand connects on a deeper human level, thereby fostering essential trust and engagement that mere bullet points cannot achieve. It's about evoking emotion and showcasing your unique character and experiences, rather than just presenting a dry compilation of facts. Lori Milner, in her forward-looking April 20th, 2025 Medium article, Creating a Magnetic Brand Experience, eloquently calls this the promise you keep. You're not just a list of skills. You're a memorable narrative that people can relate to, trust, and remember. This understanding is precisely where we begin to avoid common branding pitfalls and build with unparalleled clarity and impact. When we talk about avoiding common pitfalls and building with clarity in personal branding, the most striking mistake many people make, as identified by author and agency founder Josh Steinmel in his 2017 book, Chief Marketing Officers at Work, is that they simply do not know what they want. This profound lack of clear, measurable objectives for their personal branding efforts is akin to pushing a rope, a metaphor Stephen R. Covey famously used in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People for any ineffective action devoid of proper foresight. Without specific, SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound, personal branding becomes scattered and utterly inefficient. We saw this with influencer Joe Gannon, who admitted in an April 2024 LinkedIn post that, while emulating fast-growing creators led him to double followers in 4 months, he concurrently lost sight of his brand's objective: leading to a disconnect with his core audience and a decline in engagement rates by 15% the following quarter. This isn't about merely chasing fame or vanity metrics. It's about achieving concrete, tangible outcomes. Penn LPS Online, in their comprehensive March 24, 2025 article, Building Your Personal Brand, Beyond the Basics, emphasizes that a strong personal brand needs to be intentionally cultivated to increase visibility and credibility, specifically establishing individuals as recognized thought leaders in their respective domains. For C-suite executives, this might mean strategically positioning for non-executive board seats on NASDAQ-listed companies, or driving an average of 18% greater enterprise sales conversions directly attributable to their expertise, not just racking up superficial likes. As personal branding strategist Alina Sosnina asserted on April 27, 2026, many founders and creators skip this foundational strategic logic, flattening personal branding into an exhausting, hamster wheel cycle of consistent posting without any discernible purpose or ROI. Understanding that personal branding is a revenue engine, as we discussed, and not just a popularity contest, helps avoid these misdirected, resource-draining efforts. This deep-seated intentionality becomes even more critical as we look toward the strategic edge of executive personal branding in 2026, where the stakes and the potential rewards are significantly higher. When we pivot to the strategic edge, executive personal branding in 2026, it's clear this isn't just about individual visibility, but about driving tangible business value. Marina Bazanova, co-founder and CEO of Brand of a Leader, underscored this strategic importance in her March 10, 2026 article, CEO Branding Strategies That Drive Growth, published on Forbes.com. Her firm, Brand of a Leader, is explicitly designed as the only personal branding agency for Gen X CEOs and founders, highlighting a specialized, underserved demand for executive-level brand development, particularly within the $10 million to $100 million revenue bracket. This isn't a new, fleeting trend. Even back in 2018, an article in Frontiers in Psychology titled Personal Branding, Interdisciplinary Systematic Review and Research Agenda was already digging into its academic and strategic depth, validating its long-term relevance across industries like tech and finance. For C-suite executives, a strong personal brand translates directly into critical third-party endorsements, enhancing credibility by up to 40%, and positions them as genuine thought leaders capable of influencing market perception. This isn't just about vanity. A 2025 Hinge marketing study found that strong executive brands can increase company financial value by 3 to 5% and solidify market position, attracting top talent like senior AI engineer Dr. Anya Sharma, who joined Tech Solutions Incorporated specifically due to its CEO's established industry reputation. As Becca Chambers, a prominent LinkedIn advisor and author of The Leader's Voice, noted in 2026, a personal brand isn't about your current job, but about building the infrastructure for your career and owning your story and your reputation. In an age of AI-generated content, she argues, the real premium currency is trust in you as a leader. This trust, carefully cultivated and evidenced by increased speaking engagements and media citations, becomes a strategic asset that impacts everything from talent acquisition, reducing recruitment costs by 15%, to investor relations and partnership opportunities. What this all ultimately means is that in 2026, a well-defined, purpose-driven personal brand isn't just about individual visibility, it's a strategic asset. As Dan Coe, who reaches over 120,000 subscribers, asserted in his May 29, 2025 piece, a personal brand acts as a traffic source and a trust mechanism. It's not a vanity project. It's a foundational element for career growth and business success, especially for those in leadership roles. Your brand becomes that crucial trust mechanism and a genuine revenue engine in an increasingly noisy digital landscape. It's about more than what you do. It's about who you are, how you present that, and the value you consistently deliver. Have you ever seen a leader whose personal brand dramatically impacted their business outcomes? Or perhaps a founder who scaled because their story resonated? Drop your observations and experiences in the comments below. And if you want to understand more about these underlying mechanics of growth and influence, subscribe to the channel for more breakdowns like this. Next, you'll want to watch my deep dive into how effective AI tools are truly transforming enterprise sales in 2026. It's the logical next step in understanding how these strategic advantages compound.